Nah, hold the fuck up. Nah, hold the fuck up. Is that 2? Is that 2 billion damage? For what fucking purpose, bro? 2 billion. Yeah, 10 digits. Okay, so that is 2 billion 22,265,473 damage. Why? Yes, hello there. We're using ELMESIA today. This video took way too long to make. I've actually wanted to talk about this for a long time. I'm going to briefly touch upon it right now. The orb RNG in this game is one of the biggest things that just makes it not at all fun. And there's an easy way to circumvent this, and that's just have protectors actually increase the chance of you pulling certain colored orbs. Because, like, what is the actual point of having orb-specific protectors if they don't offer the ability to use those orbs? And I know there are, you know, protectors now that can change your orbs, but I just feel as though there should be a system where protectors give you a higher chance to pull their preferred orb. Like ELMESIA here should have like a 30% increased chance of green orbs appearing in your hand every turn. Just naturally. You know, obviously not anything ridiculous. Anyway, the reason we are here talking about ELMESIA and going through the beatdown battle with the current team is I thought about this earlier yesterday as you guys are seeing this, and then like an hour later I got a comment on my last video mentioning it, so I figured I might as well make a video on it. Yeah, so while I do still believe that Overlord Rimuru makes your life a lot easier, the difference in damage is actually ridiculous. There have been scenarios where like you can finesse billions of damage. I remember during the Idolmaster collab, Joker took the Idolmaster team into the beatdown battle and went to like turn like 30 or something, and the game crashed when he did over 1 billion damage. So like we've been capable of doing damage like that for a while, but to have a team that just does it is kind of insane. And I have to ask this question for those of you who have Hestia. Are you doing 2 billion damage casually? Because that was just a regular setup. I didn't do anything special. You're watching the match as it plays out right now. I didn't do anything special. I just used the team the way it's supposed to be used and got 2 billion damage out of it. Are you doing that with Hestia? Because if you're not, you just got screwed. However, I will also address the title of this video, Useful After 1 year. For those of you who don't know, for the past year, I have gone on multiple tirades about ELMESIA for being one of the worst designed protectors ever, along with the Protector of Peace Masayuki for not buffing green orbs, you know, just through her skill. I think it is absolutely abhorrent that they keep doing this. There's now 3 green stacking protectors that are effectively useless off their own teams. However, something that I did not remember was that the Protector of Peace GELD is not restricted with his green orb buff. Not only is Protector of Peace GELD's green buff better than Divine General Gazel, the free-to-play unit for the headlining meta of the 3rd anniversary, not only is his green orb buff better, he also has a better orb change attached to it too. So for those of you who don't know, Gazel changes 1 Divine General orb and buffs the skill point increase specifically for Divine General orbs by 30% in unlimited amount of time. What GELD does is his is split between 2 different skills, admittedly, but one is a 50% increase in skill points up to 500%. You don't need more than that, and you're never gonna surpass that with Gazel anyway. And then his other skill is 2 Protector of Peace orbs. Is that still a bad orb change? Yes. but somehow his still bad orb change is also still better than Gazel's. And then Gazel's other skill is a 90-point debuff that does fuck all. As a result, Elmesia has spent the past year just sitting in people's boxes. GELD doesn't really work on the Divine General team, and the reason for that is Gazel is the team's only orb changer. No one else on the team has an orb change. Now, I suppose you could build your team in a way to allow for GELD and another orb changer to exist. For one, you could get rid of the Masked Hero. The Masked Hero does nothing. Pierce is a bad buff. The only reason this team is so good is because it's stacking like 1,000% Pierce power. And then obviously you'd replace Gazel with GELD, so you could get around it, but having two free-to-play units, one of them likely not having a buff, GELD doesn't really work on that team. The synergy with it is really weird. But this team, GELD works exceptionally well. And the reason for that is Shuna, because Shuna has a fantastic orb change. Well, I say fantastic. It is good. Shuna, let me not. I'm upset with Shuna because I keep pulling her. I just pulled her again earlier today. She's at 104 right now because I'm too upset to put the other dupe in her to get her to 108. Shuna's pissing me off, but she does have... Utility-wise, Shuna is very good. She has a very good orb change. The multi-skill is great. And it synergizes really well with GELD. And mind you, GELD's skill point increase on greens is also stacking weakness resistance. So, in stages like the beatdown battle, where you have type advantage, he is actually stacking more damage for you, which also is something Gazel was not doing. Why is the Divine General team the headlining meta for the 3rd anniversary such a failed team? Why is, like, Diablo is like the only good unit to come out of that meta? Though to be fair, the Freerin team was the only thing good to come out of the 3rd anniversary at all. For the team to do, as you've likely been seeing on screen, I'm not actually watching the match as I'm talking, but this is post commentary. But as you can likely see on screen right now, the team just flows a lot better when it has access to skill points, because of course it does. No, designing this shit isn't hard. I don't know why they've decided to just abandon good character design. And it's not just green teams that are being affected by this. I mentioned it in my last video that blue teams have been terrible for like over a year and a half at this point. The last good blue stacking team was Ogre's Pride. And the reason for that is just they don't release units with... Let me rephrase that. The Spirit Master team is good, but like, who the fuck actually summoned for that? Which is odd to say because it was a 3.5 ANNI team, but like, the Protector Masked Hero was like the only thing that was actually worth getting, which is why I dipped the fuck out. Now, yes, I did summon for Jean, but I also summoned for Summer Memories Jean and no one else on that meta. It's like I'm contractually obligated to summon for every Jean that comes out because she's my favorite character in the franchise. So I don't have a choice in the matter. I'm contractually obligated to summon for her, otherwise she'll blow up my house. They refuse to release units for blue teams that have both a good orb change and a good buff, so blue teams have been dead for over a year and a half. Green stacking teams have been dead since Protector of Peace. They seem to have put all of their focus into making orange teams good, Freerin and Warrior's Mind, that they've just decided to make all the other teams bad to make the orange teams look better, which I guess has worked, but fortunately for you, your player base isn't as stupid as you think they are, so we can always find a way around things. And luckily, there is a way around Hestia's stupid kit and Elmesia's stupid kit. So for the first time in nearly an entire year, Elmesia has a place. Elmesia has somewhere to go. She has purpose for the first time since her release. And oh boy, is she very good at the job. Now, I will say, again, the team flows very well. The only reason this took so long is because the game just refused to cooperate with me in terms of orbs. Obviously, I wanted to show you guys the most optimal run, so I want to use Shuna's orb change as few times as possible so I can use those points on the Ice and Bell buffs. But realistically, with the amount of damage I did, does it matter? Like, when you're doing 2 billion damage type neutral, I don't even want to know how much damage I'm doing type advantage. I don't even want to know how much damage I'm doing type neutral. I mean, I do, but I don't think there's any content in the game that'll live long enough for me to find out. I guess I could try doing the stage where you get Ice's dupe, because the ice in that stage heals like every other turn. And I think on turn 7, she just like heals herself to max. So I might be able to see what I can do type neutral there. I might even try to do that before I even upload this video. If I can manage to get a good run of that, I'll show you guys at the end of the video. But if I can't, then I guess it's, oh well, I'll come back another time and try to do it. So I in fact did do the run, and as you can see, I got 76,930,002 damage. And this was on a non-optimal run where I had to use Shuna's orb change multiple times a turn on multiple turns, meaning I did not have as many stacks as possible. And yet and still, type neutral, 76 million. And it could be higher. On a proper optimal run, you're looking at probably around 80 to 85 million damage type neutral. But I'm thinking I could probably get like a casual 100 million. I want you to think about that real quick. I'm talking about like 100 million damage type neutral, not type advantage, type neutral. I'm talking probably doing around 100 million damage. And that's without the protector that this team's supposed to be on. Again, if I'm wrong and y'all are out here doing 12 billion damage with Hestia, by all means, let me know. But I just don't see a world where Hestia is enabling you to do over 2 billion damage. And think about this, we still have another character to get. Ryu still hasn't come out yet. We're still using Fern as our last buffer. So if Ryu comes out and has some unselfish buffs to give Ice, and I can actually pull the fucker with my non-existent crystals. I got like 80 crystals, mainly because I keep spending them when I'm not supposed to. Entirely my fault, but also this game is extremely stingy. We're in the middle of a collab, and I feel like I'm pulling my own teeth trying to get like 20 crystals out of this game. It's ridiculous. If Ryu comes out and is actually like really good, I still don't think Ryu's gonna add anything necessary to the team. When you're doing 2 billion damage, you don't need anything else. If you have the setup that I'm using right here, you do not need Ryu, all right? If you have the same setup I'm using and you're doing 2 billion damage, you do not need shit. But say Ryu comes out and is giving this team buffs that allow it to do even more damage than Fern is. The power creep is getting out of hand. I think is also like the secondary point of this video. Not only giving Elmesia the first glazing she's ever gotten, period, but also like, I think the secondary point of this video is like power creep is getting way too out of hand. Why do we have teams doing 2 billion damage? Why do we have beatdown battles with nearly half a billion HP? Why is 2 billion damage, yes, a funny number to see for the first time? At least for me, I've never done that much damage before. But also, why does it feel like it's not actually that much when you compare it to Dire 2? Dire 2's rocking just under 500 million HP. I don't know. I feel like once the 4th anniversary rolls around, that 2 billion that I got for this is going to be what units are doing type neutral. Type advantage, we're going to be doing like over 1 trillion damage for no reason. At what point do you just stop trying to make everything invalid and just try to actually balance your game? I even once said that one of the pluses of a game like this is that you don't have to be as concerned about balancing. Games like this or Dokkan that are wholly single player, you don't actually have to worry that much about balancing your game. However, I more said that in you can kind of just do whatever you want. I didn't mean that in every single meta that releases needs to be 6 times greater than the one like 2 metas before. Just take the Frieren team, who I would still title the best team in the game. They're not doing 2 billion. The 3.5 ANNI team, the Spearmaster team, they're not hitting the billions. I mean, maybe they did. Maybe they hit 1 billion, but they're not hitting 2. We're moving too fast. Slow the fuck down, please. But yep, Elmesia is actually good for once, and she is going to, her and GELD are going to probably be mainstays on the team. So if you have this set up, make sure you give it a try. That's about it from me. Peace.